camera up in here. All right, all right, all right. So live. It's good to be on this channel. I'm live. Yes, folks. Just want to welcome you to my comeback fitness channel. Just check it out. To the volume. Let's say the volume. Yeah. So yes. I did say once I made this fitness channel that I would try to do more lives, even if it's just once a week, just to do more lives and just talk about like the reasons why I've made this fitness channel. So for those of you who don't know, I am someone who is really passionate about fitness. I have a background in sports. I have a fitness background in sports. I've been in sports for really from as young as my childhood. I've been a fan of like football, been a fan of basketball, been a fan of athletics. I've just been generally like a sporty person. And it wasn't until my 20s that I actually took a dive and became a personal trainer. And since then, I've been someone who's really loved so much fitness and has used the power of fitness and sports to encourage more people to train and to become like the best version of themselves, because I do think sports, fitness, and that do link to becoming someone who's determined and can achieve their goals. So that's where someone is was. And this channel, Comeback Fitness, which I'm representing the T-shirt, the name actually Comeback Fitness actually comes from when I was working in the gym 5 years ago. I was there as a kind of like an after school. It was a school, and I was working in the gym as I could say like a gym instructor. At then, not too much personal training, but a gym instructor. My good friend, who I'm gonna put his link in the description, TSM Fitness. We actually came up with the name of Comeback Fitness because we used that. We were always talking about making a comeback. We when we met the first time, we were just like on the same page. We talked about like Tom Platz, Dorian Yates, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Cristiano Ronaldo, all these like great athletic, like high profile people. Like we were inspired by them. So we used to talk about them, and together. Like we came in the name for Combat Fitness, and he now has TSM Fitness. I have Combat Fitness, and we've worked from that. And what I talk about that is from me and my good friend, um, and where like the whole fitness thing rolls out is I remember like 5 years ago around this time, I was in some kind of lost kind of path. I'd already been doing fitness since 2015 to 2015, 2 years, and I was just in the same position of doing one-to-one personal training, also doing classes, but not really like leveling up and trying to achieve the best that I knew I could possibly do. So when I met my good friend from TSM Fitness, he really encouraged me to kind of really push to the extreme, push to greater lengths to achieve what you can do on this time you're here. So I really thank you for that. And I always shout out to TSM Fitness, my guy T, all the time. So that's just a little introduction of like my background and where I come from, and the reason why I want to do this fitness channel is again just to put more of like my type of training, my inspirations, but not to make this channel just for like working out in the gym or home workouts you could do, calisthenics or body weight training. None of that. I really want to promote sport in the general and why I feel it's so fun and it's so important to have this interest in sports to keep yourself active and maintain that healthy lifestyle. So that's what I really want to encourage on this channel. So and that's what I'm going to be doing mostly on here. So yeah, so I really want to thank like all the people because I'm just about to get to 50 subscribers. Yes, I really want to thank everyone who has been like subscribing to this fitness channel, who's been liking the videos, who's been sharing it. Please keep it up. I'm definitely gonna be promoting more of this brand. And I will say this because I'm definitely gonna keep this channel more fitness oriented, more fitness and sports orientated. I have a few other channels that are out there. You can see the links there, and you could always check and subscribe to them channels. But I really want to keep this sports orientated as much as I can. So yeah, and yeah, so with like if I go more to my background and the reason why I'm even making reason why I'm even making this video and telling more about this channel is as I did mention back in 2017 I had kind of hit like a wall. I was in a situation I was super depressed. I was not really thinking of like what am I going to do next. Do I continue with this gym thing? Do I try to take a risk? Do I step outside my comfort zone? I really hit a wall. So that was like almost 3 years ago, 2017. When 2020 came in, and especially with everything that happened with the world shut down, it got me thinking about not just like do I continue this fitness of working with the gym, but just about becoming more of a entrepreneur, someone who can work for themselves, doesn't have to answer for a boss, can make their own schedule. I started to maneuver these plans, and I feel definitely with like experience on YouTube on my other channel, I feel this is the best time I can really push a good fitness brand that is unique, original, and it's very relatable. Because for me, I'm someone who, when I do watch these YouTube channels, when you can relate, especially to this fitness and learn their background, learn why they're doing this, I think is very more appealing. And that's what I'm going to try and do in this channel. And for me, my dream is, especially from working in gyms from 2015 to 2020. If you check my community post, I got a picture of the first day I ever worked in a gym back in 2015. I really would like not to for me personally I do feel like I need to work in the gym because after you spend 5 years is you possibly learned mostly what you can in this environment. So my goal is I definitely want to promote more motivational videos. I want to promote more like kind of styles I've learned from my experience to train. And I want to engage more with the not just the fitness, but people who come from different walks of life in sports, whether it be football or basketball, or maybe a martial arts. I really want to promote that more on the channel. I want to grow more brand. I want to see more people wearing these combat fitness tops, and I just want to really push this more. And it's something that I knew I always wanted to do before, but there's no time like the present. And I feel, especially where we've looked at the last 2 years of some people not being able to go after the dreams, this is a dream that I'm 100% pushing to go for. So that's pretty much like what's going to be in the channel. Expect more. If you haven't already, like, comment, share, and subscribe. There will be more content on the way. Okay, so let me take water. Mm. Okay, so we've getting that out of the way. Now I want to talk about another big passion of mine is the Mundial that they call in Espanol, the World Cup that's going to be starting in 20. That's going to be starting 2020. That's going to be starting on Sunday. Sunday, as everyone knows, different time. Usually, the World Cup takes place in the summer tournament. Once the clubs tournaments, usually after the Champions League final in the football league club for the summer is that's when the international World Cup or the Euro tournament takes place. It's shifted now because it being in Qatar and in the summer it's so hot they could not possibly run this tournament in the summer. So they changed it from the summer now towards November, December, end of the year time. And a lot of people have already been down this World Cup. They think like, oh, it's gonna fail. It's not gonna be as good as the past World Cups. But I actually am very intrigued of a different setting. I love the idea that it's more closer to Christmas, which is something that I've not seen before, and a lot of people haven't seen before. And I think it just has a great fascination that the other World Cups has done before. And I feel it's one of the ones you're going to be very surprised with expecting something that is completely different from the past. And let me give you my history with the World Cup. So the first World Cup I actually saw was in 2002. This was the one where Ronaldo, the original Brazilian Ronaldo, he stole the show. And Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, they carried the Brazil team all the way to the World Cup final, beating Germany 2-0 in Korea, which was great. At the time, I was still in England at this time, so of course, I was I was supporting them, but I never believed they could make it. But it was such an entertaining, and one thing I always loved with that tournament is it was just in an outside place of the norm. What I mean by this was it was in a place that was not in Europe. It wasn't in the common countries that tournament took place. It was in Asia. And for someone who has never even been to Asia or doesn't know too much Asia, I really appreciate seeing just the Asian culture being presented in this tournament for the first time. And it was so amazing. Gus Hiddink was able to take South Korea all the way to the semifinals. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get to the final, but it was just that magic of the World Cup that I saw in 2002. And the next World Cup that I saw from there was 2006, which was in Germany. Wasn't the best World Cup. I wasn't really too happy. If France had won, it would have been probably cool, but I just wasn't really happy with the final result. Zidane on his last game giving the headbutt of doom. I believe it was to Materazzi in the final, and it just really it left a lot of people who were really rooting for France upset at the end. So I didn't really like the World Cup, but I definitely think after South Korea, the World Cup that I really loved and possibly is my favorite to this day is the World Cup 2010. And if you check my channel, I'll put a few short videos from that World Cup because it's still hands down to me is my favorite World Cup because there was just so many memorable moments from Ghana being was it the second African team to get to the quarterfinals, were just like what an inch away from being the first African team to make it to the semifinal from that classic and intense game, Ghana v Uruguay, where Suarez like hit the ball out of the penalty, out of the goal, and Asma John was unable to convert that last minute penalty. Great moments from when England played Germany and Lampard disallowed goal that went in and they could not see it. And Germany beat England, I believe it was 4-2, 4-1 or 4-2 on that day. And just even the reaction of Spain when Iniesta scored that goal in the final against Netherlands, you could feel the stadium like it was an earthquake with so many fans who were showing like a joy and happiness that the World Cup trophy finally returned to España, which was great. So that's what the World Cup meant, and it's so nice when it's like outside of the traditional countries that host it. And the Korea and the Africa one was so great. Brazil in 2014 was another excellent World Cup. Again, I think what really hurts it is what happened to Brazil in the semifinal. It would have been nice if I think everyone's dream in that World Cup in 2014 was to see Brazil, Argentina, possibly in the final. That would Messi versus Neymar. That would have been amazing. It still was a World Cup. I still rank the other two better, but it was a great World Cup. And 2018 in Russia was decent, but I don't think I was invested of those World Cups as well. But yeah, I definitely am very excited for this World Cup. If you were to ask me who do I think who will go the distance, who will ultimately win it, France is the one who won it last time in 2018. I do think, honestly, I think it may be something that is the unexpected. As I said, this tournament, a lot of people have already written it off and said like that's not going to be good. It's not going to be as good as the past World Cups. I do believe a team that is not one of the favorites may actually shock everyone and go all the way to the final. But if I say like on paper, I am expecting possibly Brazil. I think Brazil could really go the distance. Belgium, I think, have the quality, especially from the player side. They have a lot of quality players, but I just don't know with the mentality and the experience to go the distance to the final. Germany, of course, they've always had this discipline mentality that is in their genes from all the way back from Beckenbauer playing to Oliver Kahn's team. They know what it takes to get to a final, so you can't write them off. But I would say around them, France, of course, those are the teams that are going to be there. But If I would have to say where the team I would love to see win, I would love to see Spain, of course. I feel like I have a big, especially with my work, I have a lot of Spanish friends and a lot of Spanish associates that I've met this year, and I've made such a great bond through my work and even just through my travels, especially where I am now currently in Mexico. There's a big like Spanish, of course, because they're speaking Spanish coach, because they speak Spanish. There's a big Spanish culture and a Spanish like essence around here. So I really feel tied with Spain to win this tournament, and maybe Mexico and shark win this. But I do think it's going to be a great World Cup. I think the players who will be there, of course, you got Messi, Ronaldo, Benzema, Mbappe, Pogba, Neymar. I believe all there will be top. But I do feel again, it will be one player that we've not seen before who may really go the distance. One who's been under the radar may just go all the way, become the golden boot and become the best player in the tournament. So, and again, common question is with Ronaldo and Messi, this could be the last World Cup for them. They possibly could play in the next Euro tournament, like the Copa America for Messi, or the Euro competition for Portugal, and that could be them. But this could be the last World Cup we'll see these two greatest players of all time, and it will be a nice way to see these classic players play at the peak of football one last time, which would be excellent. So, both. That was I wanted to come on here just to talk about my fitness background and what to expect on this channel. A lot of fitness tips, a lot of fitness advice, a lot of tutorials, and honestly, what I use for motivation. And hopefully, y'all can relate to these motivational stories within the gym, with some past relationships when things didn't go wrong, challenges, all this. I really want to push this in this channel. So definitely like, comment, share, subscribe. And I also wanted to tell my thoughts of the World Cup because the World Cup has had such a let's get water. The World Cup has such a big connection to me. I really grew up with the World Cup, and it's always been so important. It's always been an important tournament for me, especially where I came from. So I'm really looking forward to it. I would like to hear your thoughts on who's going to win the World Cup, player of the tournament, who's going to possibly finish third, fourth place, who's probably going to be the dark horse, the one that no one expected. Put all your comments in the comment section below. As I said, I really thank you for watching this video. Anyone who's subscribed to the channel, keep on sharing these videos, keep on liking, more videos coming on the way. And as I always say, because I'm wearing the Comeback Fitness Kamisar, Kamisar, stay fit, stay healthy, and let's get those gains. Rich C Fitness, and I'll see you next time. Take care.